think about the biggest security threat in the world right now, you probably think about ISIS or a nuclear war with North Korea. But there's another immediate risk to global and national security that cannot be ignored: climate change. Right now, there are more than 65 million people displaced all over the world who have been forced to flee their homes because of war and violence. But there's also the potential for up to 200 million people to be displaced because of climate catastrophes. Yes, climate change. This is a big security threat because climate change doesn't necessarily cause the conflicts we see around the world, but it does increase economic instability, which can make those conflicts much worse. Take Nigeria. A severe drought helped shrink a lake that was a vital resource for the people living there. This lake has shrunk by 90% in the last 50 years, if you can even imagine that. The result? Millions of climate refugees, which created an unstable region later exploited by the extremist terrorist group Boko Haram. And then there's Syria. A 3-year drought in 2007 led to failed crops and little water, which then led to high food prices and, again, climate refugees. 1.5 million people displaced, all of which helped fuel the conflict we now know as the Syrian civil war. These conflicts always sound like they're international problems, but the reality is we have climate refugees right here in the U.S. Travel on down to Isle de Jean Charles in Louisiana. This area was originally made up of 22,000 acres. But because of rising sea levels, it's now 320 acres. Think about that. An entire community had to uproot and leave in the United States. Maybe you still feel like climate change is a bit too abstract to care. I get it. But one thing you can't ignore is the heat. 2016 was the hottest year in recorded history. And in fact, it's the 16th year it was the hottest year in recorded history, with Alaska warming up 2 to 3 times faster than the mainland. There's a million examples, and this is only the beginning. This isn't something to plan and think about in the future. Whether we like to admit it or not, climate change is happening right now. So Google it, pick up a book, learn something, figure out how you can make a difference.